Fish fillets. The manufacture of any semi-finished products is a rather long process, which involves a large number of different machines. That's not surprising, considering how much you have to do in the kitchen to turn raw ingredients into an edible dish. Well, in this case, factories turn a huge amount of ingredients into a finished product. The main ingredient is raw fish fillets, kept at a temperature of 2 or 3 degrees Celsius. A special mechanism throws the fish mass into a portioning machine. It first divides the raw materials into small portions of equal weight, and then gives them the desired shape in just a few seconds. Along the conveyor belt, the future fillets move towards the automatic flour applicator. The next stage is performed by a batter applicator. The batter is the binding component between the fillet and the breading. After all of these processes, the fillets are almost ready, so the frying machine is waiting for them. It's necessary for the nice golden crust to appear. In the spiral oven, the meat is cooked inside. Since we're talking about frozen products, the final stage is flash freezing. In just a few seconds, the fillet's temperature drops rapidly, which allows to preserve all the beneficial properties of the product. Pastry. Although bakeries still bake buns and bread by hand, the situation is quite different in large production halls. Today, technology allows people to not get involved at all in the preparation of baked goods. All operations from dough mixing to baking and packaging are performed by special machines. In the very first stage, the raw materials are prepared. This means aerating and sifting the flour and having potable water, salt, sugar and yeast ready. Dry and wet ingredients must then be mixed into dough. For this purpose, large industrial mixers are used. Their capacity varies depending on the needs of the company, ranging from 10 to 100 liters. A special dispenser divides the resulting mass into equal parts. Each piece is one future product. The following machining process gives the desired shape to the piece. The next stage is proofing. During this process, the physical properties of the dough change, acquiring the proper texture. In addition, the dough gains the right scent and flavor properties. This is followed by heat treatment in the oven, i.e. baking. When the pastry cools down, it's ready to be packaged. Interestingly, the machines can even pack bread into boxes. They do it very carefully. If a box weighs too much at the output, the system detects this and puts it aside for inspection. Cheese. Once again, industrial cheese production involves a huge number of steps, and they don't end even when the cheese head is formed and ready for consuming. Our regular viewers already know how cheese is made at factories, so today we'd like to talk about what happens to it once it's ready. This machine, for example, slices cheese. If you've always wondered how the thin slices we buy at the supermarket are made, then the answer is with this piece of equipment. The round cheese head is first sliced in half. Then the machine puts the resulting parts under a rapidly rotating blade. This machine works with pieces up to 115 millimeters wide and 190 millimeters high. And here's another machine designed to cut cheese, but it does its job in a completely different way. Of course, cheese is not always sold sliced. Another popular packaging option is wedges. That's exactly what this machine does. First, the cheese head is fixed. Interestingly, the position of the holders is adjustable, so the size of the cheese can vary. The only limitation is that it shouldn't exceed 45 centimeters in diameter. When the cutting is performed, a special mechanism rotates the cheese head until it's divided into equal-sized pieces. The capacity of this machine is up to 120 cheese heads per hour. And finally, the last way to cut and pack cheese. In this case, the core is first removed from the cheese head. The resulting piece is cut in half, and then the blade divided into many small pieces. This machine is interesting because it uses robotic arms to manipulate the product. They pick up pieces of cheese and place them in trays for further packaging. Pizza. Industrial pizza production begins with the preparation of the dough. The special machine first rolls it out in a long, wide strip. As you can see, it continuously moves towards the press where the pizza bases are formed. When they're ready, the extra dough is removed from the conveyor belt and returns to the mixing vat to become a solid strip again. The dough gradually turns into a real pizza. First, the dispensers apply tomato sauce on top, then the next machine spreads the sauce evenly over the surface. The next cooking step is baking. Only after that does the pizza finally get its filling. In a few stages, cheese, spices and some other ingredients such as sausage or olives are placed on top of the future pizza. Minced meat. To grind large quantities of frozen meat as quickly as possible, you need truly powerful equipment, like the machine you're seeing on your screens right now. The raw materials arrive at the plant at a temperature of about -20 degrees Celsius. It's very stiff in this condition, so the first step is cutting. This is made with a guillotine cutter that has one interesting feature. Notice how the meat bar is cut along and across at the same time. This construction allows you to achieve higher productivity. Next, the frozen meat is sent to a huge meat grinder. If you have one at home, you already know how the meat is processed. If not, we'll tell you quickly. From the chute, the meat falls on a worm shaft, which crushes the mass into tiny pieces. At the same time, the shredded meat is pushed through a special grid. The result is minced meat. Candy. And for dessert we have candy. Zotz is a candy with a fizzy, sour center. It's pretty popular in the US. However, each country has their own version, so you probably know it by some other name. At first, sugar, corn syrup, flavors and dyes are mixed into a dough. For quite a long time it moves along the conveyor belt, while the various machines fold it, press it and stretch it out. This process is called kneading, and is necessary for an even distribution of flavoring. Air bubbles are also removed from the mass, making it homogeneous. At this stage the future candy looks like a huge roll. Now the filling is put inside. It's a powder that consists of malic acid, tartaric acid and sodium bicarbonate. The first two ingredients are responsible for the sour taste. Sodium bicarbonate reacts with saliva and forms carbon dioxide bubbles. They are the ones that cause a fizzing sensation in your mouth as well. When the filling is placed inside the candy, the machine starts stretching the mass until it becomes as thick as a candy. After that, all that's left is to cut the strip. Let the candy harden and finally package it.